Right, hello. The name of this blog. Why the name? Yes, I often um, do admit that I will be on the internet, and sometimes I'll go into a chat room or whatever on AOL, and sometimes I do get the people who will say to me, "Are you related to Dick Van Dyke? Is there anything connected to that because of my screen name being W. Paul Van Dyke?" Um, I have to admit, no, there's no connection between that, and if anybody does understand why I have the name, then they'll know why. But if you don't, then I'm going to explain. The reason why I have the name W. Paul Van Dyke is because I have fascination over the DJ Paul Van Dyke. Yes, he is by far the greatest DJ ever to draw breath. I mean, not in a radio term, because he obviously ain't a radio DJ. That would go to Kid Jensen or someone like that. But basically, why what it is that I think that when it comes down to club DJs and pretty much in dance music, there can only be one DJ who rules the world, and that is Paul Van Dyke. He's been doing it for the last 15 years at least. I mean, he's been around for about 20 years, but technically his recording career has been more or less 15 years or so. I suppose I would actually admit that that is true, and I would think that in the last 15 years he's ruled the world, creating some of dance music finest songs and being a superstar DJ to what he is. And that is why I actually use the name. I do use the name on quite a lot of message boards and things like that, because it's just something I've really gotten into. I don't really like having too many different screen names just for the different area that I go onto, so I like to keep the same name. And what I normally do is I'll think of, let's just do this name. But it signifies my favourite DJ, that's why I basically have it. I mean, I, I used to have on Face Party many years ago when I first joined, Max Music Mad, but I changed it to W. Paul Van Dyke because I thought it's more accessible, it's better, it's what it's what I stand for, and that is why I basically have the name. And also, what I'd like to have a mention about in this one, and it's something that come today. I had a toy. No. I didn't have a toy as in what a kid would buy, but I say a toy because it's something that come today, and often they're not. People, my mum or whoever, sometimes say, "Oh, you're playing with his toy," and it's basically a USB turntable. Yes, I'm absolutely thrilled to actually own one by now. It cost me 30 quid. It was cheap. Well, no, I did have to pay £10 postage and packaging, but still, for 40 quid, you can't grumble. It does the business. It basically records 33, 45, and 78 records onto your laptop, computer, or whatever, and then they can go whack. They can go actually slap bang onto a CD, and that's what I will be doing. I'm thinking about what record I've got, and I'm going to be putting some of them onto a CD when I get the chance. I'm going to be putting them onto my laptop first, and then making some CDs. I will be making various different CDs on various music and greatest hits and so on, and it'll be interesting to have these records put onto computer and that, because um, the old way of doing it, as I used to do, putting records onto CD, no longer works. The machine acts a little bit funny. So I've decided that one of these USB turntables would do the business. Um, I suppose they're not too bad. You can actually put them onto your iPod, so I'll be able to put records onto my computer, then actually transfer them from my computer onto my iPod. That will be an interesting thought, because I do have a lot of records that I have on vinyl record, and there's some good stuff. And I think it's also one of those things that when I do buy the latest records on vinyl record, because I still do that. I do go out to the shop weekly, HMB, and buy my latest pieces of music. So that's what I do, and if I can buy vinyl record, then obviously. And the idea is also that I can keep vinyl record in good condition, so I can absolutely store away all my vinyl records in the spare room. I have to be perfect on it. Everything has got to be done by A to Z and style of music. So the example would be, and they might not be all style, like I've done various things, like I have soul music, but what I do is I do 70s soul, 80s soul, 60s soul, things like that. But I basically put all the records into what I think is the most common of the genre that it deserves to be in. So taking an example of records that are, say, 80s pop records, so it means that I'm going to get things like Human League, or whether it's um, things like Tiffany, or whoever. I basically sort them out so they go into the right one. It's the same as rock music. If I've got loads of records by people like Status Quo, or whether it's going to be people like Foreigner, or John Mellencamp, whether it's Lenny Kravitz, or whether it's going to be people like the Rolling Stones, they all go into the into the into the right section, and they go A to Z. I'm so perfect with that, and I think it's a really good catalogued library to do. So that what I do is I can then find some records, put them onto my computer, and then I can put them onto CD, or if I want to put them onto CD, because I do play CDs when I'm on the computer, or keep them onto my computer and play them directly from there. Stick some of them onto my iPod, and I won't need to worry about the record. I can keep the record in good condition, so that they will become collectible in the future, which I do have a few collectible records, but that's something to be discussed elsewhere. But that's basically it. So I have my USB turntable come today, and I'm quite chuffed, quite happy with it. I've been going through some 78s today. Don't think anybody will remember them, especially if you're young. I mean, I'm only 28, and I actually do remember them. I actually own one, and I do believe that I read somewhere that 78 was stopped making in some year, but they were wrong, because I know, and I know for sure that 78 records stopped making in 1960. Technically, they had finished, and they were the biggest thing in the day in the 50s and so on. They were pretty popular with people that could go out and buy them. I mean, I know there were singles out, but I think the majority of time you would buy a 78 probably. You didn't have to buy the single. But you see, the problem with the 78 was they were made with very delicate plastic, very delicate shellac, I think, and so on. So it meant that unlike a 70 single, they're not as durable. It means that if you take, for instance, if you've got something like, let's say, an Elvis Presley record from 1957 on 7-inch single, you could actually throw it on the floor and it wouldn't break. It probably won't break. It might have scratched, but it probably won't break, and therefore that means that, it's more, you know. But if you get a 78 record, it will break easily. Throwing it on the floor will just be a nightmare. And that's what the problem is. You have to be careful with 78s, because they do actually break easily, and that's a problem. But there's some good stuff to be had on 78, and I was actually playing one from a guy called Jack Payne, which goes back bloody years, because I mean, he wasn't even around in the 50s. He was around in what, the 30s, and it was a football record. One of the first few football songs to be made, I think. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, you've got football songs today, but going back and seeing like football songs that came out like years ago by people like Jack Payne is just, my God, can you believe that? So there you go. Little bit about why the name, and of course me getting a USB turntable. So I'm sure that's and I do believe if anybody's got a computer and wants to buy a USB turntable, they're quite good value when you buy one. I'm sure if you buy one that is a lot dearer, they probably do have better sound quality and things like that. But I think mine does the trick anyway, and I've been playing with it all afternoon and all night until I decided to do this vlog. Been going through and adding some vinyl records to my computer, my laptop, may I add. But anyway, that's all I've got to say for now. So keep watching, and bye for now.